Gender preference is causing an extreme gap or disparity in gender, and specifically in the female lineage. Sons are preferred for supplying wealth, whereas girls are considered as detracting from that wealth. Most of the children that have been abandoned and found alive are girls, and they have been lucky enough to be sent to Arti House, which is a location just for such things, abandoned girls in India. They face the risk of nightmares, feelings of abandonment, worries that their past is going to come back and overtake them. The women at Arti House provide food and care for them, and to some degree protect them from being taken again. All the things that a mom would do basically without actually being their mom. A lot of these families continue to keep having children when they have girls, in a bid to have this prized boy. It's problematic though, because the families can't afford all these children, and especially not all these girls that later in life will cost them a dowry that they may not even have money for in the first place. And then for the immediate family, you live with the ideal, knowing that you're going to have to send your daughter away, and so you can't really be too close to them because you're not going to have any connection with them in the future. Not to mention that the more daughters one has, the more dowries they need to be able to provide, which creates their obsession for a son, because they believe that sons will carry on their family name. They'll also be able to take care of their elderly parents, and that because they don't require a dowry, but they should get one when their sons marry. The son is also going to contribute to their wealth, whereas sending money out for a daughter detracts from that. The increased availability of medical technology for India, unfortunately, has become detrimental. Now that they are able to determine the sex of the babies and see if they're having a girl or a boy, it has increased the number of abortions that are performed there, even though those are illegal. And of course, they're only aborting girl babies, so it makes an inordinate amount of boys with no girls to marry them to for the future. Orissa was famous for having an abandoned house that had full-term female babies that were dead in there, as well as a known clinic had a well on its property that they found hundreds of aborted female babies. And female abortion exists irregardless of social status or wealth status. In fact, it is more prevalent in the wealthier areas. Their economic concerns, the more money that you have as well, still remains the amount of money that you're going to have to pay out to marry your daughter off to someone else. And that overweighs any thoughts of the future or concerns for reality. The Rakhi Festival is a festival that stresses the bond between siblings, specifically brothers and sisters. And it's an important event because it's designed to remind brothers to always take care of their sisters, to cherish them and look at them as the benefits that they really are and do contribute to them, as opposed to some unwanted burden that's only costing. The wealthier neighborhoods currently have the greatest disparities in birth between boys and girls. According to the video, it said that the ratio is 800 girls per 1,000 boys, which means that, number one, family's lineage can't go on if there are no women to have more children, because men don't have babies, women do. But also there aren't enough women to marry them to, so your lineage at some point is going to pass on, because you need to have girls to balance the scales. Men don't have children, women do. So even if it's not so wanted, even if a girl is not wanted, it is necessary, because girls become women and women are who have babies. But they have not considered that, or the fact that if there's no brides, you can't have it. If there's no women to marry, you can't have any more children. You can't have any more children, and if there aren't any children, there's no one to carry on your line. Sanja Pachapali believes that in order for all the children to have an equal chance, that there needs to be a fundamental shift in their beliefs, and that means that dowries need to completely go away, because that's one of the main factors that contributes to India not wanting girls, and that people need to place an equal balance on their children and need to love their children for being exactly what they are, their child.